Hey everybody, thank you for coming to our, it's so weird to have people here and talk to a screen as well. I need to get used to this, I still can't get over it. But thank you so much for coming for today's Autumn Memorial Service. Today, this service is only done twice a year, and this is where we honor all of our ancestors, and not just our ancestors, but friends who may have passed away, as well as we honor those who helped to create the foundation of our country, our state, and some pretty awesome people in this world. So, you know who else I forgot to please know that in creating today's service and helping out Reverend Whittier-Rose, I did have a template that I was able to find and what I was able to use. Please note that I still have to learn more about how Kyoshi Sensei does things. So if I inadvertently skip a name or I didn't see a name, I ask for your apologies for that. But today, I want to do something a little bit different during the service. Typically, we wouldn't do this. Typically, most people don't do this, but I started doing this after Reverend Edna Matsuoka started doing this. And so I'm going to allow you all to do this. So if you have scratch paper, so I provided scratch paper over there for you, and a pen. When we move over to the Mitama side and I begin reading the main prayer and I start going over names, I would like for you, because I didn't count this time. Typically I count for my church, but this time I didn't because I was still in this learning process. However, I encourage you, one, to count the number of churches you hear, family names that you hear, and the names of people that you hear. Because I have a feeling it'll be over about 100. Second, I want you to write down the names if you have enough space on the paper, and there's a lot of scratch paper. I know you guys have to get your own scratch paper online. They have scratch paper right over there. Oh, I don't get this thing. There.
The bachan cut.
That bachan cut, that Wakiko Sensei cut. And so I want you to write down the names of those, or family names of those that you recognize. Those that you recognize. And for some of you may recognize a whole bunch, some of you may not. But please, I think this is a really wonderful way to reflect, truly reflect and to remember. And because this happens to me a lot, like, I remember her, I remember this person, I remember that person. It helps me to, I do that a lot, especially during this particular service. So without any further ado, I would like to begin the not the August monthly ceremony, sorry, the Autumn Memorial Ceremony. Oh, I don't have a book. I just need a bit here. Chido Haide, 4 sincere claps. Oh. Please open your prayer books to page 2 for the mediation prayer. Mediation prayer. Let us seek the sacred mediation of Ikigami Konko Daiji, sincerely and wholeheartedly, each and every day. May we receive the mediation anew, with all our hearts and souls, on this day, this very moment. Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama. Purification prayer. Through the way of mediation, may our sincere apologies be acceptable to you, our divine parent. We acknowledge our mistakes and misunderstandings, arrogance and ignorance of your divine favor. We apologize for all our shortcomings and irreverences from past generations. Guide us to amend our way of living to reflect your divine will, the pure, joyful, and loving heart, always one with you. Chido please bow your heads in prayer. Kenma no kashikoki, Reno Konko, Whittier-Rose Hill 教会にお集まりうちこら、今しも尊き限りなき天地に道渡らせられ、我が親神様の門前に、Whittier-Rose Hill 教会長、川教師の代わりに、本校の教師に任せて、病かしこみも大作。On this warm yet beautiful September afternoon, here at the Konko Church of Whittier-Rose, your beloved children have gathered together to share our love, sincerity, and appreciation to you for the blessings, favors, and interventions we receive daily. Thank you very much for the favors you have showered upon each of the Ujiko of the Whittier-Rose's church. Many of us have continued to receive your okage from our jobs, health, and the greatest okage of all, life. Kami-sama, please help us to keep unconditional love and compassion for all, especially with what has been occurring in this world. And please use us to make an impact, big or small, in the communities, cities, counties, and country. We pray that the current economic and world situation improves to enable all of us to have a happy and stable life. Please provide us the courage and faith to overcome current and future hardships in our lives. We pray for the victims of tragedies, natural and human-made disasters, recuperate materially, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Please allow the Whittier-Rose Church to continue to be an upstanding and outstanding light in not just Whittier, but also LA, Los Angeles County. Allow us to continue to be wonderful representatives of Kami-sama, Konko-sama, Konko-kyo, and Keisene. As we continue working to achieve our goals in our individual lives, whether it be for our occupation, studies, relationships, and personal growth, help us to remember to enjoy the blessings we are receiving every day and ask for your protection and guidance with every step we take. Please give us the strength to move forward in all aspects of our lives. Help us to live a Kami-centered life as we are all allowed to live in the universe through your grace. This afternoon, we, your beloved children, have gathered today for the annual Autumn Memorial Ceremony, where we offer our hearts of love, appreciation, and sincerity to the departed. I ask that with each family name, individual name, as well as the name of a church, we remember and reflect on how those individuals have impacted our lives. As this prayer comes to an end, we will be moving over to the Mitama altar, or the altar for the deceased, to begin the Autumn Memorial Ceremony. With hearts as one, we shall give appreciation to those who have come before us, honor and appreciate the foundation of our lives and faiths. We pray that the blessings and favor of today's service is granted and received by all here today, those who could not be with us. Me ke aloha kumehana, mahalo anuie, our beloved Yami Konko died 10 years ago. Now, please raise your heads. Please open your prayer books to page 7 for the Adoration Prayer. Adoration Prayer. We lift our eyes in awe toward heaven soaring above. We lift our eyes in awe toward heaven soaring above. We bow our heads in prayer toward earth rich and deep, living amid such gifts of Kami's great giving. How happy and grateful we are. The mediation of Ikiyami Konko Daiji does not stop for a single day. The protection of the Divine Parent embraces all far and wide. The blessings of Kami flow without limit through all generations. The ways of Kami are mysterious and wondrous beyond our understanding. Day by day, every day, earnestly and reverently, we praise the virtues of Kami. We honor the power of Kami. Sto Haide, 4 sincere claps. Sto Haide, 4 sincere claps. Please open your prayer books to page 11 for prayer to the departed souls. Prayer to the departed souls. Spirits of those who have gone before us, you were given the gift of life in this vast and endless universe. You discharge your duties faithfully, each according to your span of years. You will be remembered eternally, your lives be told from generation to generation, honored as a foundation of our society and the roots of our families. We revere you as the ancestral spirits of our own divine spirits. We beseech you, stand by us each and every one. Receive the favor of Kami and help us to fulfill our tasks as people without failing. Protect us, guide us, enrich us, that we may never lose the way of faith, that we hand it down to old generations, that we may live in peace and prosperity in our homes. Protect us, guide us, enrich us. Please bow your heads in prayer. 教徒、信徒をはじめ、天の根高教Whittier-Roseヒル教会に不信玄にある永遠の御霊の神たち、関係に教会関係にあるご霊人様に根高教教師化して。Much love, sincerity, and respect, I call out your names. We offer our hearts of appreciation to the spirits honored at the altar of the deceased at Konko headquarters worship hall, the Osaka Church, Namba Church, Hakaoka Church, Kobe Church, Himeji Church, Fukuzaki Church, and Magami Church. Konko family, Kandori family, let's go and name Moshagemas. Konko Daijin's wife, Konko Tosei Shio Wakaru Hime no Mitama no Kami. The second Konko sama, Konko Shinsu Yaiki no Kimi no Mitama no Kami. Second Konko sama's wife, Konko Kyo Hime no Mitama no Kami. Third Konko sama, Konko Setsutane no Kimi no Mitama no Kami. Third Konko sama's wife, Konko Kikuyo Hime no Mitama no Kami. Third Konko sama's son, Konko Shinsei Ushi no Mitama no Kami. Fourth Konko sama, Konko Kagami Taro no Kimi no Mitama no Kami. Fourth Konko sama's wife, Konko Tahoko Hime no Mitama no Kami. Fifth Konko sama's son, Konko Akinoku Oiratsuko no Mitama no Kami. Shirakami family, Kondo family, Hakebe family, Sugihara family, Ushio family, Matsuko name Moshagemas. 本校教大阪教会初代白神伊谷広間道脇の御事の御霊の神二代教会長白神日曜日伊谷高根の君の御霊の神本校教難波教会初代近藤伊豆垣藤森秋高の君の御霊の神初代夫人近藤梅馬市真心玉津湯姫の御霊の神本校教神戸教会初代杉原勲の御霊の神本校教福崎教会初代牛尾広見道分け真柱牛の御霊の神二代教会長牛尾小春照玉道森姫の御霊の神本校教曲り教会中林潤太郎矢広照真道分けの牛の御霊の神中林吉野姫の御霊の神本校教鶴岡教会初代川上正夫道分け真柱牛の御霊の神初代夫人川上美沙を水玉道立姫の御霊の神本校教東京教会初代畑徳三郎東の道分け牛の御霊の神二代教会長畑はじめ牛の御霊の神三代教会長畑清牛の御霊の神三代教会長夫人畑久美子姫の御霊の神本校教日本橋教会五代教会長畑康牛の御霊の神本校教サンフランシスコ教会初代福田義明君の御霊の神二代教会長福田信子姫の御霊の神三代教会長松井文夫牛の御霊の神三代教会長夫人松井文子姫の御霊の神池川ファミリー松本ファミリー井川ファミリー藤本 family, O'Farrell family, Ivy family, Sanchez family, Landeros family, Whaley family, Fong family, and Ping family. Let's go on. Mr. Makio Hikekawa, Mrs. Chikae Hikekawa, Mr. Goro Igawa, Mrs. Hisayo Igawa, Choko Igawa, Sakiko Igawa, Kinuyo Igawa, Mr. Yutaka Igawa, Mrs. Masae Igawa, Sumiko Igawa, Enrique Sanchez, Mildred Fong, Raymond Fong, and Linda Louise Fong. We offer our hearts of appreciation to the spirits honored at the altar of the deceased at the Honolulu Church, Wahiawa Church, Hilo Church, Airaku Church, Yeibi Church, Hamamizu Church, 六条院 Church, Konko Church, Whittier Church, Hamada Church, Saga Church, Sapporo South Church, Saidaiuchi Church, Shiba Church, Amagi Church, Hengachaya Church, and Marifu Church. To the Kodama family, Takashi family, Yano family, Nishida family, Nagai family, Miura family, Sato family, Oishi family, Nishimura family, Takahashi family, Kobayashi family, Yasutake family, Shirai family, Oba family, Okuno family, Otsubo family, Nishikawa family, Kitaka family, Shimizu family, and Yukawa family. Atsuko Renmusha. Reverend Masayuki Kodama, Reverend Kikoe Kodama, Reverend Iku Shirai, Reverend Haruko Takahashi, Reverend Makio Nagai, Reverend Norio Sato, Reverend Teru Sato, Reverend Denzo Nishimura, Reverend Natsuo Nishimura, Reverend Wataru Kobayashi, Reverend Matsuhei Katsura, Reverend Matsutaro Yasutake, Reverend Ryuemon Kitaka, Reverend Soichiro Okuno, Reverend Shoichi Okuno, Reverend Soichiro Otsubo, Reverend Katsuhiko Otsubo, Reverend Koki Shimizu, Reverend Matsutaro Yasutake, Reverend Ryuemon Kitaka, Reverend Aiko Oba, Reverend Masanori Oba. We offer our hearts of appreciation to the following spirit, to the spirits honored at the altar of the deceased at the San Diego Church, Seattle Church, Fresno Church, San Jose Church, Gardena Church, Lancaster Church, and Los Angeles Church. Hideshima family, Otsubo family, Yuasa family, Ishiwata family, Yamada family, Okazaki family, Kandori family, Tsuki family, Fujimoto family, Nishi family, Oto family, Takeda family, Miyama family, Umemoto family, Nakayama family, Uzunoe family, Yukawa family, Ota family. This is Yasoji Hideshima, Reverend Nikimatsu Hideshima, Reverend Mumeo Hideshima, Mr. Akira Hideshima, Mr. Harold Aloysius Ryan, Ms. Michiko Pren, Reverend Kamekichi Otsubo, Reverend Kisa Yuasa, Reverend Haruko Shiwata, Reverend Toshitsuru and Mrs. Toyono Kandori, Mrs. Sadai Kandori, Mr. Ken Saburo Kandori, Reverend Taichi and Mrs. Yoshie Tsuki, Reverend Kotaro Nishi, Mr. Kotaro Nishi, Reverends Isao and Tomoyo Koto, Reverends Sadako and Jiro Takeda, Reverend Fumi Nigiyama, Miss Mei Umemoto, Miss Kei Umemoto, Reverend Norikaze Yukawa, our royal family, Brown family, Fujita family, Yasuhara family, Mr. Minoru Fujita, Fujiwara family, Ginsburg family, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Hamada family, Hamasaki family, Mrs. Harue Hamasaki, Hirota family, Mr. Tadashi Hirota, Hoshino family, James Hoshino, Hughes family, Ikari family, Imano family, Inoue family, Hamae Inoue, Emiko Inoue, Kaneshige family, Kanno family, Karakawa family, Kawahara family, Kawata family, Mr. Sam Saburo Kawata, Mrs. Edna Yukie Kawata, Kayano family, Kosugi family, Kuida family, Lang family, Tomio Lang, Matsui family, Tetsuo Matsui, Miyagawa family, Diaz family, Mr. Kyoshi Miyagawa, Madam Mitsuhiro Bando, Mrs. Norma Haruko Diaz, Mr. Bill Hideo Miyagawa, Mr. Richard Kazuo Miyagawa, Miyai family, Dr. Katsumi Miyai, Miyake family, Yoshiko Kei Kawata, Morio family, Ms. Megumi Morio, Murashige family, Nagatoshi family, Nakatsu family, Nakayama family, Mr. Jiro Nakayama, Oka family, Mrs. Peggy Oka, Okazaki family, Mr. Masato Matt Okazaki, Omura family, Moriwaki family, and Yasutake family, Sueo Omura, Chie Omura, Kakutaro Omura, Eiichi Omura, Nobu Omura, Tsugio Omura, Reverend Mitsuko Yasutake, Ono family, Saiki family, Seki family, Sugimoto family, Suzukawa family, Mr. Kazuo Suzukawa, Mrs. Reiko Suzukawa, Tagami family, Tambara family, Sumiyuki Tambara, Tanaka family, Tepnappa family, Urata family, Mr. Bert and Mrs. Edith Urata, Wata family, Yamaguchi family, Yamaguma family, Yamamoto family, Mr. George Yamamoto, Yamauchi family, Haru Yamauchi, Shinzo Yamauchi, Mikie Yamauchi, Hyomi Yamauchi, Masai Yamauchi, Yasuda family, James Seishiro Yasuda. To the revered Mitama spirits of all related people, and to all the Mitama spirits who are seeking guidance, missing, or victims of all natural and human-made disasters, war, accidents, terrorist attacks, crime, illness, and disease, as well as other tragic events that may have happened and are happening in this world. We have gathered here with the deepest reverence on this day, September 20th, 2020, in observance of the annual Autumn Memorial Ceremony, to remember, honor, and pray for those whom I've named today, as well as you are all the foundation and support of our blessed lives. As the Mitama spirits of all Konko ministers and your families, we would like to thank you for your devotion as a foundation of the Konko faith, as well as continuously supporting us here today and every day as Mitama spirits. Your virtue shines ever so brightly in our daily lives. We take this time to honor the Reverend Makio Nagai, who passed away on Sunday, September 13th, 2020. Nagai Sensei, thank you for your prayers in Toritsuki. Thank you for being a part of so many people's lives. Thank you for embracing and touching the lives of so many people on Hawaii Island, living in Hawaii, and in Japan and the North American diocese. To the Mitama spirits of the ministers of the Konko churches of North America, we acknowledge the many accomplishments as well as difficulties that you have encountered and persevered throughout your endeavor in sharing the Konko faith in Keisei, while clinging to Tenchi Kana no Kami's love. Through your dedication and consecrated work of Toritsuki, we have been blessed in all aspects of our lives and assured us of our blessedness as we enter into the spiritual world after passing. Please continue to guide us so that we can follow the wishes of Tenchi Kana no Kami. To the Mitama spirits of the church believers, family members, friends, and other offered names today, we are very grateful to you for your dedication in your pursuit of the Konko faith, as well as your perseverance and devotion to your family and community. We cannot help but to thank you for your love and life. As you transform into spiritual beings, you continue to protect and guide your loved ones. Sadly, sometimes we are unable to recognize the blessings and beauty in our lives. For that, we apologize. However, we take this opportunity to extend our wholehearted appreciation for your contribution in our blessed lives. We now enjoy and pray you continue to guide us to keep positivity and light in our lives. You received many blessings, favors, and interventions from Tenchi Kana no Kami-sama with your physical form, and are now receiving them as a Mitama no Kami. The lives given by Tenchi Kana no Kami-sama have continued from you to us, and us to the next generation like a mighty river. We respect and revere those lives, ourselves, and our descendants through this service. Konko Daijin imparted, practice faith, receive divine blessings by practicing faith. Then not only you, but also your grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and even further generations can receive divine blessings. Even the spirits of your ancestors will be able to rest in peace because you receive divine blessings, your practice of faith. The blessings you have received stay with you forever. Therefore, you should build as large a foundation of blessings as possible during your life. Let us keep this teaching close to our hearts, so that we continue to practice faith for ourselves, our ancestors, and for future generations to come. We would like to express our gratitude to you, Mitama no Kami-sama. You are always looking over and guiding us. Thus, your workings are revealed to us, to all of us daily. As we walk with you in life and communicate with you through prayer, we nurture the mutual relationship, that special and divine bond between us. We pray that the bond continues to grow and shine ever so brightly. We reverently acknowledge that through the love and virtue of Ikiyami Konko Daijin-sama, Tenchi Kana no Kami-sama, and all the Mitama spirits that we are allowed to live and enjoy our blessed lives. And we are grateful. This afternoon, we would like to remember those who passed away in the month of September. Reverend Yasushi Hata, 15 years. Or in the month of September. Reverend Sadako Takeda, Reverend Haruko Ishiwata, Dr. Takehiko Suda, Choko Igawa, Isayo Igawa, Emiko Inoue, 35 years, Takayo Kawahara, and Junko Igawa. Thank you for continuing to watch, guide, and protect your descendants. Dear pioneers and natives who are the foundation and strength of California and the United States of America, we acknowledge you and the hardships you endured in order to survive and create a future for the generations to come. We honor and admire your courage and determination, and pray that your descendants will continue to rise up and bring pride to not only you, but your respected nation. We also honor a tireless leader who passed away on Friday, September 18, 2020, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We thank you for stepping up and treading through tall grass to create a pathway for women. We thank you for your service, not just as a public servant, but as a Supreme Court Justice. We honor you today as an individual who stood up for liberty and justice for all peoples in the United States of America. We pray for the deceased Mikama who are seeking salvation, to whom nobody prays for, and to those who have experienced suffering from wars, accidents, crime, terrorism, natural disasters, illnesses, and disease. We pray for their recovery and salvation, as well as eternal peace and happiness with Tenchi Kanmokami's love, blessings, intercessions, and favor. Please enter into the bosom of Parent Kami. Seek Konko Daijin's Toritsugi and find salvation and joy. To the beloved spirits of our ancestors and believers, as well as all the Mitama spirits, please accept the offerings placed before you today, as well as the tamakushi, as an expression of our everlasting gratitude and prayer for your workings, light, virtue, and tachi. Dear Mitama no Kami-sama, please continue to protect and guide and enrich not just us, but also your descendants and other family members and friends. Guide your descendants to the Hinomai for Toritsugi and healing, a renewal or a birth of their faith. We continue to pray that you will practice faith with us daily, so that our aura and light can continue to shine ever so brightly. Imashi Mitama no Kami Tachihashi, Yami Konko Daijin Toritsugi no Mikage Komuri, Waga Michi no Totoki Mitama no Kami, Shinpo Shara no Kushiki Mitama no Kami to kan tatashime tamaite, Nangi ni ide aishi, nabete no hitobito no ue ni, Anshin, Tachiyuki no o Mikage Komura shime tamai, Waga Konko Kyo, Hokubei Kuiki, Whittier-Rose 教会を守り導きたまい、神人愛をかきおの生活運動を進め、神と人と愛をかきおで立ち行くあり方を世界宣言する、そのご神願成就の役に立たしめたまうべく、御霊ながらに、神取り次ぎ、神導きたまいと、かしこみも申す。Now, please raise your hands. Oline, please offer on behalf of Igawa Bush and Igawa. Please open your prayer books to page 14 for the ancestral prayer. Ancestral prayer. Dear Mitama spirits, everlasting and integral part of the divine parent of the universe, we pray that the Mitama of our ancestors and family, as well as the Mitama of all people, are at eternal peace and happiness. To you who have gone before us, we give thanks wholeheartedly for paving the way through hardships and self-sacrifice, in order that we who are here today can receive all the benefits of your endeavors. To you, our ancestral spirits, we gratefully acknowledge the protection and guidance which you have bestowed upon us. We pray that you continue to protect and guide us throughout our daily lives. We pray that we realize and develop your divine virtue this and every day. Jidou Haine, 4 sincere claps. My little poem. So thank you very much for joining us at, oh my god, my foot is dying. It's cramping up. Thank you very much for joining us for our Autumn Memorials ceremony. I wanted to just share a little bit about, especially today, and the things that were read and the people. How many of you, first of all, were able to count how many people we had? We had churches, people.
Too fast. I lost.
I was going as slow as possible.
I lost touches.
How much do you think you have? Oh shoot!
Oh, I think like.
Whoa, you were writing them all down. How much is that? At least.
I think at least 100.
At least 100. Well, just know that's what Ji-chan and Ba-chan did. So there's these thick folders that Wakiko Sensei and Kyoshi Sensei have with all these names, and then I'm trying to read through all of them, but. Kyoshi Sensei has a calligraphy style of writing, which makes it a little difficult for me to read. So I struggled a little bit. But I think it's important to know, though, even though there's some members who have left, or some who have died or whatever, they've always kept those individuals. They kept praying for these individuals. They kept honoring their ancestors as well. And I think I've shared this story before many times. But before I left, the day before Kyoshi Sensei was going to take me to San Diego, which was in 2018, December 29, 2018. Whittier Sensei had grabbed me by the arm. And one of the first things she said was, Todd, it's so important that you honor your foundation. Remember your foundation. Because if you don't take care of that foundation, you're not going to have anything. You cannot receive blessings. And I know, and she was also part of the fact that she was referring to the things that, not just within San Diego, but just also in my daily life. And I think this is one, and I shared with Miko that in my daily prayer, I have a prayer that once a month I wanted to come to Whittier to honor and revere, to just say thank you to Igawa Kyoshi Sensei, Igawa Kyo Sensei. And it started off pretty good in 2019, and then I got busy with school and work. The church just started to get very, very busy, and so that stopped. And so it just became the Godaisai or grand ceremonies. And then COVID happened. And then Kyoshi Sensei and Wakiko Sensei went to New Jersey, and because of COVID, and now because of the fires and our air quality here in California, Southern California, it's difficult for them to return. And who knew that because of COVID, I would be coming once a month to Whittier to be allowed to do Goyo here. On top of that, I think the fact that I take to heart what Wakiko Sensei said about honoring our foundation, especially our ancestors. There's a minister, Reverend Masaki Takahashi, from the Konko Church of Taiwan, and he told me, Todd, what do you do with your ancestors? I said, I want to say thank you to them. That's all? You just say thank you? No, your ancestors have a responsibility. They have goyo to do. Goyo is service, a type of service to Kami-sama. And if you don't tell them what you need, if you don't tell them what to do, then they're not going to do anything because you're an adult, first of all. So you need to let them know what to do. And I kind of take that to heart. And I forgot, slowly, at one point, I forgot about that. And thanks to the wonderful Nico Sanchez, who reminded me, tell them what to do. Write it down and tell them. Literally, there's something that happened within our church, and she said, you just tell this person, I need this. Get it done. Granted, I didn't go to the person. I said, I need this, and get it done. But I took her advice, and I remembered, oh, that's right. Reverend Takahashi said to do this. And so I wrote down for the month of July, I need this to be done. I need help with this. I need you to do this. I need you to do this with this one particular person. And amazingly, although slowly, amazingly, there was 4 or 5 things I had down. 4 of those things. One's a work in progress. One's a definite work in progress. The other 3 have come to fruition. And the last one, and keep in mind, I've been struggling with these 5 things, these 5 topics for, it'll be 1 year, probably December, let's just say. And within just a matter of a month, these 4 things, well, one's still a work in progress, by the way, but these 3 things just happened. The last one I still have to pray for. I haven't won the lottery, sorry. I have to buy the lottery ticket. I haven't bought the lottery ticket, but that's why it's not coming, because I didn't buy that lottery ticket. However, I began doing that. I began doing that with Reverend Yukawa. I began doing it with my aunt, saying these things because they want to be a part of our lives. If you think about it, they want to be a part of our lives. They want to assist us. They want to help us. They want to make our lives, help our lives as they were in the past. In the past, they were there for us. And if they weren't, well, maybe now they do. They want to be part of this life, part of your life. And I know, I have an aunt who was a minister. Her name was Reverend Haruko Takahashi. I read off her name today as well. I didn't realize Kyoshi Sensei was honoring her as well for all of these services. You know, I never knew that her name was constantly in there in every single service. And she's someone I've never met. She passed away the year before I was born. However, I think it's so important that I honor her, and I ask her, I need your help for this. You know, working, even though I'm part-time, working doing distance learning is like a full-time job. This is double the amount of work that I have to do at present. And so when I write in the prayer notebook, there's sometimes at times I don't have time to pray, and I just go, Yukawa Sensei, Auntie Haruko, you have more toku than I do. Can you pray on my behalf? And I truly believe that the blessings that my members are receiving in San Diego, in Arizona, in Mexico, I think it's a result not just because I wrote in the Gokinensho, but I truly believe that Yukawa Sensei and my aunt are on my behalf praying for them. Everything that's written in that prayer notebook they've done. And even here, when I write in the prayer notebook, I go, oh, Akinobu Sensei and Ushio Sensei, the two up there, that one up there, and then this guy right here. I'm like, can you pray? Can you take care of this? I don't have your virtue. Can you pray for me? Just do it on my behalf. You know, I think and there's a number of things that have slowly, since I started doing Goyo here, slowly things I've seen change. Slowly things I've seen come to fruition. And I really believe that they're here at this altar praying. Because I can't be here every single day. I can't be here only once a month. So I'm just asking all of you, you know, when you took notes or when you heard those people's names, I hope you were able to reminisce about those individuals. I hope you had fond memories of some of these people. Maybe you can laugh or snickered. There's a woman at the Honolulu church. Her name is Mrs. Yamaguchi. I love this woman because she sang with so much passion, but she was totally off key every time. And when her name is read, I'm not even joking. When I hear her name, I start laughing because, because I remember that. And she was one of the most loveliest women I've ever met. And I just remember her singing with so much passion, but just off key, completely off key, like a whole octave off key as well, and then some. But I just remember these things, and I hope during this service, you were able to do the same. You're able to recall, reflect, and hopefully in your daily life, you'll be able to have that communication. Talk to them. Say, hi, I need your help for this. Hi, thank you for this. Hi, you know what? I need extra help. I need extra prayers. This is what I'm struggling with. Because I know they're listening. I know, I should know of all people. I trained at this church for 1,000 days, and I've seen things, I've experienced things that nobody else would experience. So the last thing I wanted to share also is, I'm not sure if I shared this with all of you last year, but I truly believe Mitama also have the ability to move us, to touch us, to talk to us, and get a message across. Last year, out of the blue, there was an article that came up in the Huffington Post, written by Margaret Dilloway. And in that article, it had gone on the Konko Facebook page, and people were talking about it, but no one had done anything about it. And then Reverend Glenn Pelosa sent me an email. I need you to research this person. Can you find out everything you can about this person? And I did. And something, typically once I research something, I'm like, hey, that's it, moving on. But something kept pushing me to keep moving on. That the information I had provided back to Joanne Sensei wasn't enough. I'm like, what's wrong with me? I shouldn't be like this. I kept pushing and pushing until I hit a brick stone. And then the next thing I did was I read Margaret Dilloway's book. The moment I read that book, the answer became clear as day what my next steps were. I contacted Konko headquarters that contacted this church, and I got all this information. And by June of last year, I was able to honor Margaret Dillaway's mother at her grave in San Diego. Well, this year, as I was sharing with Nico, in February, I don't know what possessed me or what took over my body or what possessed my mind, but for some reason I kept researching information about the Seattle church and about the Reverend Nikimatsu Hideshima. And for those of you who don't know, Hideshima Sensei is the founding minister of the Seattle church. And in 1956, he left the ministry and converted to Christianity. And when I first heard that, I said, oh, how dare you do that? I hate you. That was just my natural. And if you read Psalm 139, it makes absolute sense why I thought that. It makes absolute sense if you read Psalm 139. However, for some reason, February, I don't know why, something kept driving me. I had to keep researching and digging and digging and digging. And I started sending information to Mitsue Sensei, who's Bobby Sensei's wife. And that wasn't enough. That became not. I went through 3 different databases, and now a 4th database I have access to find more information about this minister. And my heart broke. Having learned what I learned about this minister, my heart broke for this man. I had so much compassion towards him, and I wanted to know more about him that I ended up writing to his sole surviving son, who lives in Seattle, and I sent a letter to that son. And his son sent me a letter back. It wasn't the letter I wanted, but it was a letter full of respect. And in it, he writes, if you want to understand my father, you have to read Psalm 139. This will describe my father's faith from the age of 16. This is something he strongly believed in. And then he went on to say a number of things. Based off of that, I found more and more information about Hideshima Sensei. So much so that I hate you, it became, oh my gosh, I love you. I feel so sorry for you. So much so that I ended up doing a kaishiki, or what we call a conversion ceremony, for his 3 children. And what's interesting about that is because his daughter was someone who really was so affected by Konko because she had done so much goyo. And something moved me to say, I think I need to do this service and give her her posthumous name. Whether for Hideshima Sensei's oldest son, I stopped. I said, until I know your situation truly, I cannot do a kaishiki for you. And I made that clear in my prayers, my daily prayers. And one day as I was preparing for the kaishiki service, I was praying to Hideshima Sensei, please, you give me the name that you would give to your child. Show me the characters that you would give for your child. And I heard someone say, me, do me too, me too. And I thought, who's saying me too? Who's saying me too? And I realized that what had to be told his eldest son. His eldest son passed away. In fact, he passed away at the same age I am at the moment, at the age of 46. I'm not going to go much into that passing and everything, but it was so amazing that I was able to receive this information. We were to do this service, but to learn as much as we did about this man. I had a strong feeling, and remember Kyoji Konko, I think all of you know Kyoji Sensei. You don't know Kyoji Sensei. That's a nice man. His English is very interesting, but nicest guy in the whole wide world. He kept encouraging me. And then in conversation with Kyoji Sensei, he said, Todd Sensei, I think Hideshima Sensei has been talking to us, has been pushing us because he wants to be remembered. He wants to be honored. He wants, even though he may have been Christian, he is pushing you. That is the only reason why you've done what you've done. Keep in mind, I started my research in February. February 14th is the day Hideshima Sensei passed away. February 14th of this year makes 35 years since Hideshima Sensei passed away. And this was huge. That's what made us realize our ancestors have the ability to push us, to help us understand what their needs are, to help us sometimes when we just don't know, to push us in the right direction. And I want to thank Miko Sanchez. She's like right here. She's right there.
Hello.
I want to thank her because she reminded me about asking and continually talking to our ancestors and being a little more receptive and open for when they have a message to us. So if you think your ancestor is pushing you in a certain direction, listen, pay attention, and seek Toritsugi as I did. Seek that Toritsugi so that you can be guided in the right direction. So today, I wanted to show you something very cool. So as you know, today was the first time I think at this church we've ever done what's called kensen, which is the offering. We actually take the offering that's not offered and we offer it to the altar. And today our Hokyo to be Avalon Igawa made today's offering of sweet potato and matcha tiramisu, mochi, and tea for the ancestors. She didn't make it, but she just assembled everything beautifully. If she did, she'd be making it every month when I come here. So thank you, Avalon, for your help with that as well. All right, because it says low battery at the moment, I better end today's sermon right here, right now. So thank you very much all for coming. Please make sure that you turn your heart to Kami-sama. You talk with your ancestors. Sometimes they're the closest and quickest way to Kami-sama that you can get. And I've learned, I want to thank Miko for reminding me about that. So have a really wonderful day. Enjoy your Sunday, and we'll see you next month. Ahui ho.
Bye.